And good morning. It is Monday, November the 18th. Thanksgiving is closing in, isn't it? A nice, cool 58 this morning. We'll get to high. It's going to be hot. 78 is the high we're expecting, which brings about bad weather tonight. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is what we're expecting. Possible severe weather. The southwest corner of Lauderdale County. We'll get into all of that back west or under the gun on this storm. We'll look at all that in a moment. At radar, show you what the National Weather Service is predicting on all that. I want to point this out. If you're up early in the Meridian area and you travel King Road to work, we have a tree down. Let me pop this up where you can see this. This is on King Road near the tennis courts is where this is. It's all the way across the road. Use caution in the area. If you're moving pretty quickly, it's kind of hard to stop when you run up on these. And again, that's going to be King Road right before it gets to North Hill Street is where that is this morning. Use caution in those areas there. Lots to talk about that's going on nationally. We're getting our birthday list together. Make sure to do that. Odie will be covering those for us coming up at the top of the hour. Good morning, Irene. Good to see you. Sydney is up. Clarkdale Community. Pat and Jim joins us. Mark, Miss Dorothy. Causeyville Way up in Adam there. We've had one pot of coffee done. I think we got to start a new one. We just really need a diner. Have you ever thought about that, Odie?
That would work.
Grits and eggs and all kinds of good things to start your day.
We need a bigger staff.
We need a bigger staff. Odie can't flip eggs and talk too. We're going to work on that. Good morning to you. Well, let's go to Collinsville, get a good word for the day as we begin it, and we'll come back with national headlines and see what's happening.
You've probably heard many times over the years, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Beloved, tough people, strong people, courageous people are not deterred when difficulty comes. No, it makes them go all the more. You see, moments of adversity are no time to shrink back. Just as God says in Proverbs 24:10, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. It's moments of adversity when we find out who really has it and who doesn't, who's really strong and who's really weak. If you faint when adversity comes, you prove yourself to be a coward, a soft person, a weakling. Instead of shrinking back, we must will ourselves to actively push forward. God in the very next verse calls us to rescue those who are being taken to death, hold back those who are stumbling to slaughter. We must act, especially in life and death situations. We have to work to rescue them. Now, when I read this verse, my mind immediately goes to one of the largest genocides our world has ever known, the genocide of abortion. Last year alone, it's estimated that over 1 million babies were slaughtered in their mother's wombs here in America. We're talking about well over 60 million in the last century. Although these babies had not yet been born, they were whole human beings, full of dignity and worthy of life. And Christians should work to see abortion completely abolished. We can turn a blind eye and pretend like the baby in the womb is not really a baby, but listen to the very next verse, Proverbs 24:12. If you say, behold, we didn't know this, does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Does not he who keeps watch over your soul know it? And will he not repay man according to his work? That means we can't pretend like we didn't know. We know. And God will hold us accountable if we refuse to act. So don't faint and fall away in the day of adversity. Stand up. Rescue those who are being taken away to death. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I see Louisville joining us for the show as well. Mark, Stella, Diane, good to see y'all. Oh, and we want to say good luck. Not often does one of our locals get to head off to do something national. Kim Johnson Busby at the airport right now, headed to, is it Pennsylvania, I believe?
Pennsylvania.
To QVC, the home shopping network. She has a Christmas book that she's made, and she's going to QVC to sell it. Isn't that great? We'll be talking to her back and forth as she does this. She'll go live tomorrow morning, I believe, at 6 on QVC. We wish her all the luck. It's so good to see somebody from my area doing something like that. I don't guess I've known anybody locally that's ever made it to QVC. Other than Dirty Jobs, you know, he used to hawk stuff on there. QVC, nothing quite like it. So good luck to her. We'll talk about that in a little bit. As we begin our headlines, boy, you don't see this often. Guinness World Book of Records, 7 foot 9 inches. We're talking a basketball player. He's from out of the country. He moved here. I think he's going to Florida. He'll be starting basketball season next year. He's got a red shirt this year, and we'll begin the season. Can you imagine? That's just like you just touch it and it goes in, isn't it?
Yeah, he just stands under the goal.
Man, that is tall. He's a Florida freshman. Oliver Roque, if I pronounced that correctly. Good luck to him. That is tall, 7 foot 9 inches. Can you imagine getting in a car with that boy?
He ain't getting in a regular car.
No, he can't fit in no Nissan. That ain't happening. Boeing has begun their layoffs. 400 employees have been cut so far. More are expected on this. Boeing has had one problem after another over the past year. Union workers, if you were headed to, and I guess this would just be bad if you showed up the wrong time. If you're headed to Las Vegas to the casinos, union workers are picketing. They want higher pay there. I guess you could always go local. Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians. A tornado overnight has hit Oklahoma. The National Weather Service has said, we'll look at radar here in a moment. It's some bad stuff out to our west. That is what's making its way toward Mississippi over the next 24 hours as we expect these storms to arrive in our area. But a tornado did touch down in Oklahoma overnight. Spirit Airlines, as we talk about airlines, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. I've never been on a Spirit. It's the bright yellow airplane with Spirit written on it. It's filed for it. Have you been keeping up with this? Texas is where we go for this next headline. This has been quite a few years ago, but a father, and is it the shaking baby syndrome is what they call when you pick up a child and shake it? Well, the baby died. He was charged with murder, and each time when it came up he was set to be executed over this. Each time it came up, it was pushed. It's been paved now. We're going to allow it to proceed. Horrible that it happened in the beginning there. We'll keep you up to date on this story as it progresses nearer and nearer for that. Remember those monkeys that we keep bringing up?
Yeah, they went running.
37 of them originally. We talked about it Friday. They were down to 8. Somewhere in South Carolina, there's still 6 monkeys floating around, jumping from tree to tree. Y'all be cautious. They might take your banana. Actually, they'll take anything. Every video that I've ever seen of the monkeys, they climb up. If you have lipstick in your pocket, they take that. Careful. I don't know what they got, but it's 6 of them still on the loose there. You can't do this. I've had stuff like this sent to me. We've never done anything over it, but in South Carolina, a man has been arrested. He sent a threat to a reporter. They don't take kindly to that. He's been arrested. He will be formally charged. Boy, you ever heard of that thing, karma?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has struck for the editor-in-chief of Scientific American. She's had to step down. She went a little wild on Facebook after Donald Trump's election. When I say wild, she got, wild with her comments and threats and such. And, she had to step down. She no longer has a job. I've seen 2 or 3 high school principals. Most of them were ladies that done this, that just went absolutely berserk. And then they say, it was a fit of, if you can't handle just the election results, how do you handle everyday life? That puzzles me. And you're around children? I watched one where she went on, and it got very bad. The entire thing was broadcast, of course, on Facebook and YouTube of what she said. It was just, never should that have happened. If you got a problem like that, walk outside. There's plenty of trees. You can go outside and yell and go back in, and you dust yourself off. You'll be okay. But she went and told it to everybody. Bunches losing their jobs over stuff like this. But it's because you're in leadership roles is why you can't do that. And if you can't control yourself, you certainly can't lead. The CDC has confirmed its first case of human bird flu. Again, that's Oregon. Arizona, man. You know how caseworker, and this is you don't think of it, but it is a very dangerous job. say you work for the CDC, you work for any type of agency that deals with children, that you go to the home and you have to check on the families. Number one, you go probably to some areas that you go, it's a little shady here. I'm not sure if I ought to, as you get inside, it's you and them. The ultimate happened. Again, she wasn't seriously hurt, but he attempted to kill her. It was a father that jumped on a caseworker. I can't imagine how any of this could ever happen. But it does. If you do this for a living, be careful. Let somebody know where you are, how long you're going to be there roughly, and check in. Sometimes you would not be able to get away, especially if it was a rural area. Daniel Penny, y'all know who I'm talking about? The veteran who was on the subway that protected the people there. The man was continuously trying to harm everybody. He jumped into action. The man died. The medical examiner, as this trial has began, is saying that he died solely because of Daniel Penny. Yes, he did. He was trying to protect others. We will see how justice serves out on this as it's in trial now. I think the man done right by saving the other people. It's my opinion. Do y'all remember seeing this in the headlines last week where a human part, let me put it this way, it sounds better to say it this way, came ashore up on a beach. It was in Florida. Turns out it was a missing swimmer that it belonged to. Condolences to that family. Awful, awful, awful. We go to another country, India. And we all know that other countries, when it comes to hospitals, don't have the type of care that we have in the U.S. of A. Of course, we complain from time to time, this doctor done that, but trust me on this, we do have the best medical care in the entire world. People come here, they know that. People go to other countries because it's cheaper sometimes. But a fire broke out in a hospital, 10 newborn babies lost their life in India. I don't know if there were sprinklers or what protections they had, but it's awful. I don't care where you're from. Now, the only time I've ever watched The Voice or any of these shows, I don't have a lot of time for shows like this, is when we've had somebody local. Todd Tillman was there. We also had many others go there as well. Holly, she was there. A guy that won it, Sundance Head, sort of a different name, Sundance Head. He was shot. Have y'all heard about this? He's going to be okay, but he was hit by a bullet at his Texas ranch. He was season 11 winner. Happened on Friday night. His agent said he's 46 there. He was flown by a helicopter. He's going to be okay, but still shot. We don't know what was involved in that, if it was a stray bullet. And you would think if you have a ranch that it wouldn't be from stray bullets. It gives you the indication that it's a big area that's yours. Could be, you know how reporters sometimes call something a ranch and it's an acre. I don't know. But he will be okay, but he was hit. As we go back to hospitals, California is where this happened. Back in 2016, a woman was arrested as she impersonated a nurse. She's done it again. She's been arrested. Boy, she doesn't need to get near people. I always think of that scene from The Fugitive. Y'all remember that? When he was the orderly over there and he knew something was wrong and he changed the orders. And that doctor caught him. I don't know why. That sticks in my head every time. But that was somebody who didn't know what she was doing. They've been arrested there. Where is this? Salisbury University, Maryland. This would be up the Washington area, in the eastern coastline there. We have 3 people that have been arrested for allegedly beating a man because of his religion, sexual orientation. That should never happen. If you don't agree with someone, turn the other cheek and go. You don't have to like one another. You ain't got to hurt anybody either. I'm not sure if this happened or not. It could have. She's claiming she's got it in writing. South Carolina is where we go. No, it's actually North Carolina. Let me back up there. Senator there. A woman complained, sent his office a complaint to a senator there and said that she didn't agree with the abortion laws in the state of North Carolina. Supposedly, he or a staff member wrote her back and said that she could move. She's not real happy with that. States' rights. think they actually told her that she could go to another country. I didn't watch this, but I know it was big, and there were some issues with the fight. 60 million people, 60 million of you watched the fight with Tyson and Paul.
I was one of them.
You watched it?
I watched it.
Oh, yeah, Tyson lost. But you got to give him an A for effort. I'm sure they made something off of it. Both of them lost. Was it bad? Just not any good.
No, it was terrible. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
They just couldn't box? Is that what it is? Or it was just not good?
It
wasn't good.
It was staged.
Stage stuff. Don't you hate that?
Paul made 40 million. Tyson made 20 million.
Oh, everybody made millions is what it amounted to. Okay. All right. Now I'm with you on that. It's kind of like reality shows now. Everything is staged. None of that is actually happening. We all know it, but somehow or another we end up still watching it from time to time. Reality. They can't let something that's not reality hit. Yeah. On with other things there. This is concerning, to say the least, as we look at this, as Ukraine has been given the go-ahead to use long-range missiles supplied by the U.S. of A. We have Russia saying this could start a problem. I'm sure that the Trump administration would not approve of this, but as Biden's administration, I can't help but think that the Trump administration wouldn't make a phone call to Ukraine and say, if you do this, come January 20th, it's over for you. This really could escalate into something bigger. I don't think we need to be sticking our nose into something like that. There's fighting amongst themselves. This is that they could be starting a war that doesn't need to be started for the U.S. of A. before he steps out of office. Is it on purpose? I can't tell you. Hopefully this will not happen and that some common sense will come to somebody. Surely somebody from the Trump administration has called and said, don't do this. Puff Daddy in more trouble. Odie was up half the night worried about this.
Yeah, paced the floor.
Paced the floor. Puff Daddy is being charged for obstructing justice from behind bars. How could that be? Oh, he's got people on the outside. You say anything about me, I'll get you. Basically is what they're saying. It happens every day in America. That's why it's so hard to get anybody to testify against someone. That little thing called the Witness Protection Program doesn't always work. And maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. I saw a small clip of it where Whoopi Goldberg last week claimed that a bakery would not make her cookies or whatever it is that she wanted, some pie or something, because of her political beliefs. The bakery said, well, that's not true. We were busy and we didn't have that, and we offered this instead. She was trying to get them canceled. They're overflown. Or what do you call it? Over when you get too many orders? They're being bombarded by people wanting business from them now in support of them. People aren't listening to the agenda that they once did. Imagine that. We'll be right back. We're going to get into your weather forecast next now to let you know what that bad weather is going to be doing.
While everyone is getting ready for Thanksgiving, family, and football, there's an important runoff election coming up on November the 26th. I'm Jennifer Branning. It's time to bring new energy in a new generation of constitutional conservative leadership to the Mississippi Supreme Court. In this election, there's a difference. I'm the only candidate with legislative and courtroom experience, and I'm the only candidate endorsed by the Mississippi Republican Party. I ask for your vote for Supreme Court the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we get into our record highs, record lows, remember 1930? Well, maybe you don't, but it was 83. 1951, it was cold. It was 20 degrees on that, 1951. Hot in 30 and, well, warmed up in 51. As we go forward and take a look at today, we've got a perfect day, 78. And let me say day. I didn't say anything about nighttime, did I? We got storms are coming. We look great today, 78, 77 in Philadelphia. We'll see 80 in Greenwood in the Delta and back down to Natchez, up to 81 down the river. Now, as we go to Bama, not bad at all, 77 there. 74 cooler in Birmingham, and we'll even see 74 there in Auburn, Alabama as well. Now, here's what we've got coming. Strong winds possible, and this will be right up to the Scott County line as we look to the west of us. All of this from that Brookhaven line down I-55 is what we've got back into Arkansas into Louisiana overnight. As we look at this strong winds, we're going to have 25-mile-an-hour gusts, and it will be even worse to our west. What does this tell us? Like this morning where we've got the tree down across King Road, we could have more. Pay careful attention to this as we look at this across here. The strong weather will majority be to the south and west of actual Meridian. Doesn't mean that Meridian won't get it. Clark County, this will cut right through Enterprise and most of this down through Quitman, right there about where the park is, Clarko State Park. Everything west taking in Jasper and most of Newton County, and it'll even get chunky in this. This is included in this. Our timeline will be somewhere between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. for strong weather. Now, again, we could have damaging winds, severe storms, and nowhere in this green area does it say that a tornado cannot be ruled out tonight. It's in the overnight hours, more likely to happen to the west of Meridian and south of Philadelphia and southwest of Kemper County. But anything that lies to the west and south, and you never can tell, and I always try to explain this, storms don't know boundary lines that the National Weather Service puts out. Just because they put it a little to the west doesn't mean it can't happen east of that line into where we are. Pay attention tonight. More so if you live in Newton, Clark, or Jasper County, have more of a heads up. But just stay weather alert as we move into the nighttime hours. As we look at this, also, we show that we have some flash flooding possible to the south of us. As we look at that line that's going to cut right across here, just to the south of us, Laurel, Hattiesburg. This will take in Wayne County as well. And that's going to be right up to that Clark County line. Flash flooding is projected for tonight. Now, as we look at this warmer weather, 78 right now. Hot out in West Texas, isn't it? We see that. Here's our forecast for the next 7 days as we look at 78 today, 75. And it will be over the weekend before we start seeing this cooler weather. Now, by Wednesday, the nighttime lows are great. You see that 39 Wednesday night, but we're going to warm back up to 66. By Thursday, 38 that night, 61 during the daytime. And Friday night, 37. That makes you want to go deer hunting, doesn't it? We're getting mighty close to opening day. 62 Saturday, overnight low of 39. Let's go another week into this, all the way through December the 2nd. As we'll see the 25th, we see 75. Thursday, looks like to be Thanksgiving-ish, 66, 50% chance of showers there. As we go all the way into December, and we can start doing the countdown to Christmas then, we'll see a high in the mid-60s there. Not bad at all. Nighttime lows in the 40s is what's projected during that. Here's our fishing forecast for today. Now, perfect timing today will be somewhere around 2:30 this afternoon. 2:30 until 4:30. It was overnight hours that we had a good time also. It'll be after dark before it gets better again. But the wind's going to be south wind, 5 to 15, gust of 24 miles an hour, which means backlash. Backlash. Let's take a look now at what's happening here as we look at our hunting times. Perfect this afternoon at 1:30 to 3:30. A perfect hunt during the bow hunting times there. Again, the day rating is average. We should see sunrise. It's already happened at 6:27 this morning. Sunset will back up even closer. 4:52 is what we're looking as a sunset. Again, the wind's going to be south-southeast, 5 to 15 with gusts of 25 miles an hour, which will affect your scent in the woods big time. All right, let's go back and take a look at radar of what we're showing here across America as we look at Honda Meridian radar. A lot of fog here as we move into the Meridian area in the north end of this. Kemper County, York, Alabama, Demopolis, Utah. Ooh, it's thick. Even back over to portions of Philadelphia into Winston County as you go up through here. Let's turn on some locations just to show you what we've got. This is all going to be up to just about Highway 14 there in Winston County through Noxapater. It's heavy. Boy, when you make it to Scuba, Mississippi, you may not be able to see the stop sign. Be careful. Dangerous there all the way over to Geiger, Epps, Alabama as we go northward to Sugarlock, and it'll cut off shy just of making it to the four-way stop there in Macon. As we look at this a little bit there in eastern Neshoba County as well, over on Highway 16 where 491 runs into it. Be careful there at the Dollar General. Now, as we back up to take a look at what's happening out west, this is where the tornadic activity happened last night. Oklahoma, we had a touchdown. We had a lot of storms earlier this morning. Here's that line that's moving through there now. And again, that will make its way eventually to Mississippi in the overnight hours as we look at that. Denton, Texas, starting to get some showers and rain now. That's what we've got. We'll be right back in just a few moments here as we get ready for the morning show. It is right around the corner as we look at this. We're going to go over all of that, of what we've got going on. So don't rush off too far. We'll be right back in just a moment here at the Scotty Ray Report.